What we got here is a 2005 4R75E or W. It's on a 2005 F-150 with a 4.6 liter engine. And we're going to do a complete overhaul of this 4R75. This transmission is going to take the full overhaul kit. This is the paper rubber rings and seals. Here's all the frictions, overdrive band, bushings, center support snap ring, filter, and we're not just going to do an overhaul on this transmission. We are actually going to fix some problems. And this is a SureCure kit from Sonnax, and it addresses all the weak points on this particular transmission that you see here. These are all the items that come in there. You see the Overdrive Servo pin, main pressure regulator valve, the bypass clutch control valve, boost valve, O-ring end plugs, sealing rings, some shims for the Overdrive Servo for the Overdrive band adjustment, and the intermediate sprag spiral snap ring with retainer. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get our sealing ring kit and open it up. Go ahead and install the sealing rings on the output shaft. There's 3 metal sealing rings. One is 2. That's 3 sealing rings. Already took the snap ring off the ring gear. And now we're going to install 2 Teflon sealing rings. And I'm going to use the ones that come in the Sonnax SureCure kit. Okay, now that we install both sealing rings into the grooves, you can see here the cuts, the ends, the way they're supposed to go. We put a bearing inside the case. Now we drop the output shaft and ring gear assembly into the case. This is the snap ring that goes next. We've got a flat end. Okay, so we see here the ring gear assembly and the snap ring. Okay, we have the direct drum. Got some splines in here and a bushing inside. I'm going to take the lip seals off, remove our lip seals. Get the new ones from the kit. 2 lip seals. The way they call them lip seals is because they have, here's the 3rd clutch piston, here's the groove where the lip seal goes. This is the lip seal. The lip goes down and the piston goes into the bore. And the reason it goes down because the fluid applies through the back and it opens up the lip and then it pushes the piston up. And when this opens up, it flares and it creates a perfect seal. Now we drop the piston in. Okay. Now we got our piston already bottomed out. Return spring and the snap ring. Now we bring our drum to the foot press, adjust the height. Push down on it. We have installed our snap ring. So you start with the steel, then with the friction, steel, friction, steel, friction, all the way to the top, and then you put your pressure plate. Bearing seat goes here, and a bearing. Now we get our third clutch hub. Drop it in the drum. Now then we put our pressure plate on it. Get our snap ring. We install our snap ring. Output shaft to direct drum bearing, which is this right here. Okay, this is the way it looks. Now we're going to drop this assembly inside the case. We're going to install our low reverse band. There's our new bushing, and just go a little bit below flush. Now we put our low reverse roller clutch. This is our center support, and this is just to show you. 3 wheels counterclockwise, and it locks in the clock. Now we drop our planetary gear assembly into the case, followed by our center support. Now this being a 475, you're going to have one cutout here that goes on the band anchor. He has to pass the band anchor to drop into the case. And this other cut right here is a little wider. It goes towards the intermediate speed sensor. The speed sensor that goes right up above the manual lever position sensor, because this transmission has 2 speed sensors on the side. We'll go ahead and drop this in. Followed by this cushion spring or anti-clunk spring. Our snap ring. Now this snap ring, you can see it here, it's got 2 curve bends. And you want the opening not interfering with your speed sensor. Now the original snap ring broke, so I'm going to go ahead and cut one end, because the original snap ring does not have 2 curves. So let's modify this snap ring. Okay, snap ring modified, we'll drop it in the case. Here is the splines where the intermediate shaft splines into, and I didn't show you the splines on the direct drum, but if you don't put the intermediate shaft, the little shaft that I just showed you, you're not going to have no dirt and no fork here. Now the next step, we're going to put the new sealing rings here, the ones that come in the SureCure kit. New sealing ring. This is for torque converter clutch. It seals the circuit for torque converter clutch circuit. This is the new sealing ring from the Sonnax SureCure kit. We put it in the groove inside. Okay. And it's not resized. We're going to use the pump stator support, the back side. It's tapered. We're going to use this as a tool. We're going to remove the 2 forward clutch sealing rings. Now that we have our sealing ring kind of centered, you want to be careful and go slowly. Kind of tap it down a little bit. Tap it down a little bit until it bottoms out. That sealing ring is not resized. Let's install the other. Drop it into the groove. Slowly. Resize. Get a forward clutch piston forward clutch return spring, forward clutch return spring retainer, the forward clutch snap ring or circlet, whatever you want to call it. We removed the old lip seals. Now, if you look at this lip seals, they're kind of short. They come like that from factory, and it's for ease of assembly in the plant. Take them off a little bit. Now this is the lip seal that comes in the kit. This is the lip seal that was originally on the transmission. If you see this one here, it has a longer lip. Let me install it on the piston so I can show you. Okay, there we go. It's installed on the piston. Look at that. That's good. Inner piston, forward clutch piston lip seal. Make sure they're nice inside the grooves. There you go. Brand new lip seals, forward clutch piston. Let's lube it up. Plenty of assembly lube. Right. Now we're going to install our piston. This is a lip seal installer. You can get that from Snap-on tools or Mac tools, Macro tools, wherever you want to use it. Attaboy, all the way to the bottom. Return spring, return spring retainer, then our snap ring. We're gonna, okay, press down on the foot press, hold it, get your snap ring pliers, there we go, attaboy. Okay, now this is our reverse input drum housing. Reverse input drum piston. Return spring or Belleville spring. Roller seat. And our wave snap ring. Now this is a leaf cut seal. See how it is completely squared off, squared ends, no lip. Okay, so I'm using my screwdriver to push it in the groove, and since it's a waved snap ring, sometimes it could be challenging to get it in there. It just takes a little bit of practice, but there it is. Reverse input friction clutches. This transmission only takes 3. I got one left over. Some units take the 4th one. This is the bottom plate, and this is the top pressure plate. It's a little different. This has this shape to it because it falls right on top of that Belleville spring. Put that pressure plate in it, friction, steel, friction, steel, another friction, and top pressure plate. We put our snap. We're going to install a mechanical diode. It's a ratchet type. The early model 4R70s and AODEs or FIODs, they use a roller type one-way clutch like the one that we installed on planet for the low reverse. This is the intermediate mechanical diode or intermediate sprag or one-way clutch, whatever you want to call it. One way, three wheels, and it locks the opposite way. That's why it's called a one-way clutch. A diode, same thing. This is the original snap ring that holds that mechanical diode. It holds it in place. But this snap ring likes to pop out. So what we're going to install, it's a snap ring retainer. This goes first. Then we got a spiral snap ring. See how it is? It's a spiral snap ring, and this works really good. It spirals more than one time, and they kind of holds, you know, in the groove together. And that snap ring retainer, we're going to fold it on top of the spiral snap ring. I'll show you here. I got one end, and then you just spiral it in there. See that? It's in there. Have just a regular punch. You can use a flathead screwdriver, whatever you may use. And then you just do about 6 or 8 folds like that, all the way around. That snap ring ain't going anywhere. Okay, now we're going to drop our forward friction and steel modules into our forward clutch drum assembly. These are the forward frictions. You can see these have a black line on it. And I'm going to show you that they're different from the reverse input clutches. They're different size. Let me show you. This is our leftover friction from the reverse input drum, and this is the forward friction. If you put them side by side, there you can see the difference. The forward clutch is a little bit smaller, bigger than the reverse input. We got the wavy, we got a steel plate. Now we'll drop it into our housing, starting with our forward clutch wavy. Now, what this does is when you put it when you first engagement into forward gear, this little wavy plate, it's like a cushion plate, like a little pillow. So when you put it in drive, it's not going to give you that real harsh engagement. If this breaks, it'll give you a immediate to harsh engagement going into forward gear. Or when you put it in drive. So we drop that in first, followed by a steel, friction, steel, friction, steel, friction, steel, friction, steel. Like I said, soak them. Well, for this video purposes only, I'm not going to soak it, right? But soak it for at least 5 minutes. At least. Snap ring. Green assembly loop to hold it in place when it won't fall off. There we go. Now we drop this into the case. Now, our band. It's a Borg Warner band. It's a high energy friction material. This is our Overdrive Servo. See how smooth that is? Okay. This is our servo piston. The pin, we're going to replace it with this one. See this groove right here and this groove down here? We're going to take an O-ring there and an O-ring here. Okay, let me go ahead and take this apart so I can show you what's going on. Okay, so here's the servo, remember? Here's the the E-clip that holds the servo in place. Overdrive Servo Piston. Spring seat, and the pin. Here's a comparison side by side, both pins. Now let's go ahead and assemble them. We're going to put this adjustment spacer on it first. We're going to drop our spring seat. We're going to install this small O-ring. Lube it up. Nice and lubed. Put our spring, Overdrive Servo, and then we go to our press and install our E-clip. Okay, so our E-clip already installed. We still have one more groove here, right? Well, this O-ring goes here. And we lube that up too. Move up the Overdrive Servo piston. Nice and lubed up, ready for installation. Put a little bit of green assembly lube on the return spring. Okay, here's our Overdrive Servo, and this pin goes here. It doesn't have a lot of play. It's not too worn out, but the cases do worn from there, and you have a pressure loss on the release side of the circuit of the overdrive piston. So that O-ring that was on that pin on this side is to eliminate that blow-by fluid pressure, and to correct that issue. Okay, so we dropped our forward and reverse input clutch drums. Here's our overdrive band. It's not latched in yet. I'm going to go ahead and latch that up, and then okay, now we're going to install our overdrive servo into our case. Like I said, use plenty of it. Lubricate the inside of our servo board. I have 2 valve body bolts. Here's a valve body bolt with a washer. Got 2 of them. Put one here, one on each opposite side of the servo board. I'll go ahead and put this in. Overdrive servo into the case. You'll make sure that the band is in the front of the tip of the overdrive servo piston. I don't have the special tool to install this. I don't believe I need it. Got those 2 bolts, and this is just a regular bearing separator little T. Install it here. See how easy that is? You just make sure that my overdrive band is still latched in. There we go. We're good. Once you see the snap ring groove, you can stop right there. Get your snap ring. Here's the Overdrive Servo snap ring. Just make sure it's inside the snap ring groove. And now we can remove our special tool. Now our intermediate steel module, intermediate frictions, second gear. First the pressure plate goes down. The reason for that, the pump takes a piston. Here's the piston, and as you saw me assemble those drums, the steel goes on the bottom first, the pressure plate goes towards the snap ring side of the drum assemblies. It's the same thing with this. These the friction and steel modules intermediate are going to go drop into the case, not inside the drum, but it's the same function. The pressure plate always goes opposite side of the applied piston. So let's go ahead and drop them into the case. Pressure plate first. Friction. Steel. Friction. Steel. Friction. Steel, friction, and steel. This being an 05 is a little different than the older one. The older one take a little caged return spring on top of the piston, intermediate piston. This is a little different. This one drops in first. Then the wave plate, which is actually a return spring. Now let's not forget this little deal right here. This is a anti-rattle. Okay, this little gadget here, anti-rattle, goes at the 1 o'clock position. It keeps the steel plates and the friction from rattling, followed by the guide and the return spring, intermediate return spring. Now our pump. Here's our pump stator. These are the reverse input sealing rings. They go here. This is the old one. It's metal type. These are the forward sealing rings. They go one here, one here. They're plastic. Now, 03 and under, they use metal sealing rings, like the ones for the reverse. And on the forward, you install these blue ones that come in the SureCure kit. Now, unfortunately, for the 04 and up, Sonnax hasn't come up with sealing rings for the forward clutch drum. So we just put the new ones that come in the kit, the plastic ones, and our new sealing rings for the reverse input. See how easy that was? Drop the other one in. Now we're going to remove our front seal, front pump seal, and our front pump bushing, front pump o-ring. Now we use our bushing driver to remove our old bushing. Now the way I always install my bushing, you see the pump here, you see the inlets for the pump, one on the left and the other one on the right. And then the bushing has this lube groove. This lube groove, I put it on the right side of one of the pickups. Now this bushing here is kind of unique because it has a little cutout for the return. And it's giving it, enough space so that you can have return fluid going into sump, and you won't have a lot of pressure behind the front seal. If you do have a lot of pressure behind the front seal, it's going to pop out. Okay, a little under flush. That's perfect. And it still ended up on the right side, that's perfect. That's pretty awesome. And here's our return. It doesn't really matter, it's not doing anything, but it's aligned to the front seal return to sump. Our front seal, Loctite thread locker. I love it. Put a little bit of a thread locker on the outside of the front seal. This is just going to help it, retain its position. So we won't have a front seal blowout. Front seal blowout, all the fluid is going to come out on the front transmission. Put a little bit, it helps. Get my bushing driver. Smack it in there. Make sure it's nice tapped in. Okay, you have a little bit of excess of Loctite, just smear it all the way around. There's our bushing seal. Pump o-ring. Yellow groove goes out. One thing you need to notice is the bleed exhaust here. There's a bleed on it with a little check ball in it. That bleed hole, most of the pumps, they have a little indentation here. You're going to align that bleed hole to it. Now the reason why, you have the apply circuit on the bottom or on the 6 o'clock position, and it needs to fill the back side of the piston. Is going to fill up to about right here, and you need some bleed off. You need to get rid of some fluid trapped behind that piston, so you put it on the 1 o'clock position, right? Okay, you put it on the 1 o'clock position. The apply circuit is down here. This is the bleed circuit. Now, if for any reason the bleed circuit, it's on the bottom close to the apply circuit, you're going to take off in first gear and you're going to have a late 1-2 upshift because the back of the piston is drained. It doesn't have enough fluid for it to apply on time. So it's going to take longer for the 1-2 apply or the 1-2 upshift because it needs to fill the back of the piston with fluid if you put the bleed hole close to the apply hole. So most of the pumps, they have this notch right here. If it's not there, you have a little square, align it to it. If there's nothing there, just remember that it goes into the 1 o'clock position, and the apply circuit goes at the 6 o'clock. These are the pump gears. I'm going to go ahead and install the outer one first. Now the inner one is directional. This side is flat. The opposite side is tapered. This tapered side, it goes towards the torque converter. This is where the torque converter is going to engage. So this side goes, the tapered side goes towards your front seal. See how it's got 2 tapers? There, this is where the torque converter engages. Now let's tighten them up. They're not tight yet. We're going to go ahead and torque them to 18 foot-pounds. Here is the complete assembled front pump. Now we drop our pump into our case, but we're going to lubricate the case too. Okay? Now we lubricate the case. Here's our pump gasket. Now we can drop our pump. So make sure that the bolts are aligned, bolt holes, 18.5 foot-pounds. Check. Perfect. Now for the rest of the components. Okay, now we're going to install our case components, and like I mentioned before, lube everything. Make sure everything's nice and lubricated. Okay, we got here our pressure control solenoid. Install it into the case with the O-rings. The intermediate accumulator piston. Lube it up. Make sure it's nice and lubed up. Drop it into the bore. This unit takes double springs, a yellow one and a blue one. Most of the earlier units, they only take just one. This unit takes 2. Our accumulator cover. Put it on there. And the snap ring. Special tools, your fingers. Our pump pickup screen. This prevents metal contamination to make its way into the pump gears. The earlier models don't have them, but on some of the overhaul kits, There's a new one in the kit, and if you didn't have one, you can reuse the old one. Low reverse servo piston for the low reverse band. This is the low reverse spring. Drop the spring in the case. Drop the servo in. Low reverse servo cover. Make sure that it's nice and lubricated. It's a molded rubber design. Your snap ring. Yeah, you push it in. There we go. Third accumulator piston. Lube it up. Make sure it's nice and lubed up. Okay, just drop it into its bore. Third accumulator spring. Cushion spring. And it's covered with a flying saucer. Now our linkage mechanism. Let's install a new shift lever seal. Take the old one out. Install a new shift lever seal. The linkage pass-through, case pass-through pin. Remember, lube it up. Here we go. Get our rooster cone installed on the pin and the nut. 13/16 wrench. It's nut tight. Roll pin installs here in the case. Okay, so we got all of our case components here. The Overdrive Servo piston was installed while the band was being installed. Screen for the pump inlet. Intermediate accumulator piston. Low reverse apply piston, band apply piston with cover. Direct accumulator piston, spring and cover. Our electronic parts pass-through connector. In there. We're all set. Ready for the valve. Okay, now we disassemble our valve body. This is our valve body. Nice and dirty. Take our circle plates off. One, 4 bolts, there's 2, more spacer plate, and here we should have 8 check bolts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 check bolts. We're going to replace them. They come in the kit. This is the new one. These are the old ones. Has a little screen for the solenoid regulator valve. Take the back plate, remove the back plate off. Solenoid, the lock-up solenoid. More back plate. Okay. Just want to show you something on this gasket here. Here we have our bypass clutch converter valve. Here. Right here. It comes in the kit. It comes in the SureCure kit, I'm sorry. Not in the Overhaul kit. This is a common problem that I see on these units. The gasket rips right on top where the bypass clutch control valve goes here, and then you have the lockup switch valve here. Sometimes this piece of gasket ends up in between the lands in the valve, and it keeps it stuck open. And what that does is it's stuck open, you put it in gear, and it kills the engine. Most common problem will be a lockup solenoid, but this unit has this particular problem on its own, and if you experience something like that, maybe your gasket is no good. There's a number of possibilities. It could be the torque converter, it could be the lockup solenoid, your gasket, and it could be some other issues with your transmission. You know, maybe a sprag binding up, or maybe the forward clutches are smoked, that the frictions and the steels are welded together. Maybe you have another component that is burned up as well. When you put it in here, you have two elements applied, and it kills the engine. So there's a number of possibilities. It's not just one possibility that killing the engine would be. But I just want to show you that gasket the way it is, and that is a very common problem. I see that a lot, and I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and clean this valve body up. And we're going to go ahead and install the rest of the SureCure kit components, which is the main pressure regulator valve, the bypass clutch control valve, boost valve, and O-ring in plug, and on the solenoid regulator valve, there's another retainer that's going to go behind the original retainer. Okay, so I'll go ahead and clean this up. I'll get back to you. Here it is, cleaned up. Now, notice that the solenoid regulator valve, it's stuck, very stuck. See how hard it is to move? I already took the retainer and the spring from behind. You can see it there. I'm going to go ahead and take this thing out. Meaty needle nose, they're great for this job. Here's the valve. Had a little bit of debris in there. Always like to clean them up first before starting disassembling the valve body. Because if you disassemble a valve body that is dirty, you're going to create more problems. You're going to scratch the valves and it'll create more problems. A little bit of WD-40. And we work the valve. See that? Grab the valve from the back in. Start working it in and out. Nice and free now. You don't feel no dragging. Slide smoothly into the bore and out of the bore. This is what you want. It was stuck, but it wasn't that real stuck. There we go. Just like silk. You gotta feel smoother than silk. have any resistance going in and out with the valve, you gotta clean it up some more. And if this doesn't work, get your veg buddies with high-speed drill, polish the board. Simple as that. Okay. Well, this valve is good to go. We put our return spring and the original retainer. The screwdriver here to push the spring in. Okay. There's the retainer. There's the valve. This retainer here is going to go behind that retainer. What you want to do, you want to push the retainer in. Put this right behind it. Tap it in. And this is what it's going to look like. This is the thick retainer, and then the thin retainer is in front. This is sort of like a little bit of adjustment on the spring, make the spring a little stiffer. Perfect. Make sure that the rest of the valves are not hang up. Do not use anything with the point moving the valves. You're gonna mess them up. You're gonna scratch them. Always use a little flat screwdriver or anything that's flat. Nice and free. Yep. Perfect. Lock up. Pressure regulator. Okay. Now we're gonna get our second clutch O-ring in plug. Go ahead and remove the old one. Okay. This is the old one. This is the new one. The O-ring. Remove the O-ring. Work the O-ring in there, make sure you don't tear it up. 2 O-rings come in the kit, so if you need another O-ring, just put another one on. Just glue everything up real good. There we go. Like butter. Here's our in plug and the clip. And now, bypass clutch control valve. Take the retainer off. This is the original bypass. I just took the little plunger out. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on the camera, but he has a little bit of wear on it, and you can see like a little different shade of gray in there. I don't think you're going to see it on the camera, but this is the new one. The difference in this one, see the apply circuit, the apply hole is real small. This one actually has four holes here in the groove. Now with this having only one hole and real small, you're going to have a better lock-up apply. It's going to feel, I mean, from day and night, lock-up apply is going to be real good. Not harsh or anything like that. You're going to notice the torque converter when it engages. You're going to feel the shift, second, third, and fourth, but when the converter goes in, you're going to think, hey man, I got an extra gear in my transmission, but it's actually the torque converter engagement. So we install the new one. that little fly hole, I'll put it on the opposite from the clip, so the clip won't block the feed hole. Now we remove our boost valve and pressure regulator valve frame. Take the clip off, our boost valve. Here we go again, same thing. I'm going to rotate it. Let's see, I'm going to rotate it. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a different shade of gray on one side. It has side load. It's actually right here on the inside. That's wear. That's normal wear. And this is our new one, and it's exactly the same drop-in replacement. But we're not just going to put that. We're going to go ahead and install brand new pressure regulator valve. This is the new pressure regulator valve from Sonnax, and this is the original pressure regulator valve that's from factory. Now notice this land here, it's smooth, it has no grooves, and right here, see that right there? The anodization from the valve already fell off, and you can see the bare aluminum. If you see bare aluminum on one of these valves, this valve is very worn. Now this one here has grooves on the same land, and these grooves are for balance. Fluid goes in between those, and it lubricates and balances the valve. Go ahead and drop in the new Sonnax valve. Lubricate it. Lubricate the bore. There we go. PR spring, pressure regulator spring. Our new boost valve. Lubricate the valve some more. WD-40, man. That's special. Works perfect. Okay. And that's it for the valves. Now let's go ahead and finish assembling this valve body. Let's get our vacuum-free gasket. Vacuum plate. Our bolts. We're going to install these two guide bolts first. They're not tight, we're just a little snug. Then we're going to torque it to 90 foot-pounds, 110 inch-pounds. Get our torque wrench. Nine foot-pounds. goes here. Ink check balls. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check ball locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Our valve body to spacer plate gasket. Solenoid switch valve screen. Goes here. Valve body spacer plate. Okay, into the round. Two round plates. They have fluid circuits in the back. Okay. 9 volts. Get my 10 out of a torque wrench. Same 9 pounds. Get some glue assembly glue, put it on the spacer plate. This is going to hold our gasket to the plate. So when we install the valve body on the transmission on the case, the valve body gasket is not going to be flopping all over the place. Spacer plate to case gasket. Pretty. Okay, drop it in the case. Alright, has 2 guide bolts. The case has 2 holes where these guide bolts will align, or alignment bolts that will align the valve body to the case. Let's get the bolts. Okay, EPC bracket. 210 roller, long bolt, short bolt, short bolt, short, 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 short. The long bolt goes on the back plate. All the long ones on the back plate. Short ones go around the luminous portion of the valve body. Okay, I'm using one here, another one here. 9mm socket. Remember, little snug, not tight, because you still have to torque them. Missing one. UPC bracket bolt. We're going to leave that up because shift solenoids use that bolt. Torque them. Same 9 pounds. Go from the center to the outside. Okay, we'll over them again, just to make sure we not miss one. Center. Okay. Almost done. Almost there. Now the lockup solenoid, let's go ahead and remove the O-rings. Put the O-rings in it. The O-ring. This is called in the valve lights. Same for the shift solenoids. Shift solenoid A and B. So one assembly for both solenoids. These are the shift solenoids. Already took the O-rings off. New O-rings. New O-rings. Remember I told you about this bolt? When you tighten it up? Go there. Now, the other bolt that we have left over from the valve body, this little small one, holds the TCC or the torque converter clutch solenoid and the shift solenoid. Tighten that up. Always torque your valve body. You may be tempted just to use the impact ring, but if your valve body is too tight, you're creating your own problems. And if it's too loose, same thing. So I always recommend that you tighten up all of your bolts, everything. If you don't have a torque wrench, get one. conductor strip or wiring harness. There's no wires, it's just a conductor strip. Just snaps in. Just make sure that it's clipped all the way down. There we go. Now our filter. There we go. Now we're done with this unit. It's a complete rebuild. The only thing left to do is just put the transmission fan back on and the extension housing. If you like this video, down there, hit the like button if you like it. Give us a good comment, good review. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave your questions and your comments. There's some link down there to our website, transmissionsunlimitedhouston.com. You can leave us a message there, or you can leave us a message here at YouTube. And always, safety glasses, safety first. Make sure that your bolts are nice and torqued correctly, properly, and always make sure that the environment that you're working on is nice and clean. And the cleaner it is, the better it is. The channels behind the benches, make sure you don't have nothing there. If you're not familiar with your unit that you're working on, and you have junk down there in the little oil channel on your bench, if you lose something, if you don't recognize it, if you're not familiar with your unit, you're not going to find it, and your transmission's not going to work. So if you're not familiar with your transmission or the transmission that you're working on, make sure that your bench is completely clean. There's no foreign objects that don't belong to that transmission that you're working on that bench. And just in case you see something laying around on the bench that you know that is clean, there's nothing there. Find something after you already started working on your transmission, you know that that little piece belongs to your transmission and not no other transmission that you're working on. So just keep that in mind. Cleanliness is the secret to everything. Use a lot of lubrication, assembly lube, WD-40 works perfect, for cleaning valve bodies and lubricating valve bodies, anything else like that. And cleanliness is everything. Make sure your solvent is clean, service it regularly, and always wear safety glasses. To the next one, happy building. This is Dr. Tran signing off. Thanks for watching. Click the like button, thumbs up, and in the future you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and click the link to my website and leave your comments. Thanks for watching.